just watched it this morning, so it's fresh in my mind. And I loved it. So I guess for starters, tell me a little about the Rewilding program. And Anthony, I'd love to hear like how you heard about it as well.
Sure. So I was working at my job where I'm at now, Youth Justice Network, formerly Friends of Island Academy. My supervisor back then referred it to me. He said, hey, you know, he knew that I didn't have any experiences traveling and things of that nature. So he said, hey, why don't you sign up for this? I think that it'd be good for you. So, you know, I was reluctant because, you know, these things never happen. It's like playing the lottery sometimes. But I was like, hey, okay, I'll try. And next thing you know, like in a week or so, you know, these guys are like calling like, hey, you know, we're interested in interviewing you. And they end up coming to my job to do a video interview. And, you know, we took off from there. You know, it really wasn't a long process as far as that. You know, they told me like, hey, we want you, we like you, and you interested in coming? And I said, okay, let's go. And shortly after that, we went on our journey.
And boom, just life-changing experience that you had no idea.
Right.
So Vitek, hi puppy, it's your dog. Yeah. What drew you guys to Anthony?
You know, there's a lot of communication, a lot of decisions making, a lot of just like, you know, creative thinking. And honestly, like Anthony was, you know, the best participant for the first trip. You know, he was like, he was already half there, like exciting and looking for a change in his life and driven, like doing something. He just needed an opportunity. He just needed something to like bring this little farther, like get him out of the space that he was in and show him different places, different space and ways communicating, and just like, yeah, just take him a little farther. And that was just the main, you know, initiation for us to like, okay, Anthony, like he is the right one. Let's get him out there and let's make this happen for him and for ourselves and together. And also, you know, because his strong ways of communicating and already working for that organization with youth, that was like another part of beauty that, you know, he's already working with the guys. He's already creating a change for others too. He is a great mentor, and he can be a great ambassador for us and be part of this, not just as a participant, but be part of our organization as one of the leaders, you know, and that's just like, all right, let's make it happen.
Yeah. Totally. So Anthony, you knew from day one, like, by the way, we're making a documentary here, so we're going to be following you with the camera every step of the way. I mean, what goes through your mind? You're like, wait, really? I mean, I can't imagine someone just approaching me and saying, hey, you're going to go climb a bunch of mountains and we're going to film you every step of the way. Right. What about that was enticing to you, or was it enticing? Like, what went through your mind there?
So, you know, the film part wasn't the part that drew me necessarily. It was like the traveling and that I get to leave and go out of state and do the journey. But I've done like small things on the camera, so I was familiar already. But I had no clue that it was like going to be as intense as it was, even though I knew I was going to be on camera. And but yeah, it was more of so like traveling, like getting out of my space. You know, I already been through so much up until that point. And this opportunity was a once in a lifetime thing. And the guys' energy was great. You know, they were very different from, you know, the usual men that I've met, you know, in the city and things like that. So, yeah, you know, it was the guys, their energy, the idea of the program what drew me in. And yeah, I would say that was it.
Awesome. So, you know, you mentioned in one of your interviews in the film, you really hope to learn something new about yourself. I think so. Did you learn anything new about yourself? And if so, what did you learn?
Oh man, so so much. But I'll start by saying, you know, my resilience, you know, my courage, you know, and other layers of courage where, you know, I know how to defend myself in the streets and fights and things of that nature and surviving out in the streets. But the courage to, you know, do something different, to show a different part of my character. And my personality, and be brave enough to put it all on the floor. So I think that part was, you know, what was the most main thing that, you know, I learned about myself. I mean, there was so much more as far as communication and things of that nature and other skill sets. even just hiking and traveling and, those kind of technical things. But on a personal level, I think that was the thing that really, where I was like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could be amongst different people doing different things and still be myself, like still find myself. Who am I in this situation? I know who I am in the streets. I know who I am as an artist or sports, but who am I, in this instance? So, when I found that I can even do that and, follow through, I was very happy with myself about learning that component because it really translated later on in my life to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I was going to say, I feel like even from a logistics standpoint, it must have been difficult to, because you had, who was holding the camera, like climbing those mountains with you. I mean, it seems like that whole thing, it's really an impressive feat, I guess. So talk a little bit about that, I think. I mean, what was that like, watching that all happen?
Oh, so yeah, for me, it was incredible. Yeah, like I said, these guys are amazing. They've been doing this for, 20 plus years, and by now, probably even longer than that. So to see that they were able to juggle the equipment and, emotional and conversations and just tackle all of these things, and still, do these physical feats, it was truly amazing. And, I think they gave me the strength to do a lot of that stuff because I was drawn a lot of times. I was like, man, I don't know if I could do this. And, I was banged up and just emotionally withdrawn and energy was drained. But, to watch these guys do that, I said, man, I can do this because I'm not carrying anything but this backpack. So I could do this, because they're doing way much more than me, even and helping me along the way. So it was truly incredible to watch that, these guys could do that.
Absolutely. How many people were there total on this trip?
V, you wanna?
Yeah, so it was me, Jesse, Anthony, and then we had our field director Matt, and then our field cameraman Benjamin, which he was behind all the climbing cameras and everything. He's a climber himself and really good one, and he just had an amazing eye to like, okay, I want to climb over there and shoot from there, from this angle and that part, and just get me up there. I'll go up there, I'll climb there, you bring me the camera and stuff. It's like, it was awesome. It was
Wow.
adventurous and like exciting to see him up there on that little rock when we climbing by, it was sweet.
Wow. Okay. And this wasn't just a learning experience for Anthony, right? I think you guys learned a lot too. And maybe you weren't even expecting that, but talk a little bit about that aspect of it.
Yeah, Casey, that was it was huge. It was huge for me. It was enormous learning experience for myself, about our society, our social economic system, about our racial issues, about a lot of things that I'm still learning. It's just like it started this whole new chapter in my life, how important is to know about like in the depth of what's going on, so that like, especially because I love this work, I love doing it, I love working with people. I've been coaching for like 14-15 years, and it's just in a different environment with different crowd, but it's still like like working with people in a way. It's like understanding in the depth of what's going on within myself and within them, be able to listen. I think like one of the biggest thing that I really learned, as it's been a long time, like I think all three of us and even our cameramans, when like this past 6 years, went through some process of learning, right? We all do. And I think that one of the biggest for me was like really opening eyes and letting myself to see things from the lenses of others, and to give them enough space and time to show me and do that, because we are so quick into coming to this is how it's done, this is like from my perspective, this is like how it should be done, this is how I want to do it. And maybe there's so many different ways how things can be done, how things can be explained, how things can be viewed, that I've been like, oh wow, that's thank you for showing me, thank you for letting me know that. That's like I needed that, I really needed to like push my ego even lower and just like it's almost there, like get as low as possible so that I can be the best myself. And give the space for others to be best themselves. That was huge for me.
Definitely. So I guess I will ask you both, what was the most surprising thing to you that you experienced or learned from this adventure?
I guess for me, because I'm here 12 years now. I'm originally from Czech Republic, and I think the most surprising, and I can say that it's positive, but the most surprising for me is how much the racial and the white privilege um, is living on. How that still just is so in depth, alive, and a lot. It's just like crazy. You see it everywhere. And even me, like sometimes, like it's so deeply written in our bones and in our history that even me sometimes like act out of them, just like, what the hell? Just like, wow. Yeah, that was mind blowing to me, that we are living in this system that is systematically keeping it living so they can keep making money and getting more power and manipulating these little things into little places that are just like, so, they just like, what the hell? Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that was for me.
Anthony, how about you?
Yeah. So yeah, for me, it was definitely similar to what Vitek is saying. The racial component, and like I said, I haven't done anything like this up until that point. I haven't traveled, and I haven't had white male friends. On a personal level. So all of these things were new for me and revealed. And I went with my knowledge and education of really what I already understood it white privilege to be. Racism, the prison system, a public school system. That's the mindset I was going in there with, along with everything else. My personal family. So it was very difficult for me, to communicate and have some sort of understanding in the beginning. But once, I was able to talk with the guys one-on-one, and we had certain discussions, things started opening up, and, our vision, our perspective for both sides started becoming wider because, like I said, I understood that, even in, racism, there's levels to that as well, they're climber guys, prestigious guys on Wall Street probably look at them like, oh no, you're not, you're not us, what I'm saying? And they're looking at me like you're not either, you know what I'm saying? So, we all came to grips to understanding that, and we found a common thread, where, we're all, suffering in the system, right? Even if one side thrives more, there's still another level to it, another layer to it where, it's just terrible. And, it trickles down to all of us. So, Rewilding was birthed out of this idea. Well, not, initially, I know the guys just wanted to go on a trip with a young man, but, it transformed into that, once these discussions and our perspective started widening.
Yeah. So it was, needless to say, it was not, you were getting yourself into something that you weren't quite expecting. I feel like, but for the better. So tell me how is it impacting you to this day? How has it changed you?
Oh, so we didn't speak for like probably 2-3 years. I don't know if it was about 3 years, but it was a long time. It was years that we didn't speak after the film, because I just didn't know how to. I had to readjust coming back. I felt let down. I felt really disappointed because my life didn't change. After that. I felt like I went on this amazing trip and got this amazing experience, and it was emotional. And them leaving and nothing really changing for me just kind of went downhill again. I kind of went back into that space. And but now I have these new memories, with me, even though I'm in an old space. So, as I'm, living life and working, I would experience things in my day-to-day life and then attach it to rewilding. These old thoughts would come up where I'm like, I would use these skills and these ideas and this new mentality that slowly started, those seeds that they planted slowly started growing and things started changing, right? As far as getting out of my space and helping young people, because, I work with young people as well, getting young people to understand that idea of getting out of your space, and sometimes not physically, but you can do that mentally, even if you're stuck somewhere. So I started applying a lot of these things to myself, and, slowly but surely the transformation started happening to where when we reconnected, the understanding was way better. I was able to communicate way more. I guess it was just like a marination period had to happen. Things just had to settle for me. and I really had to understand what it was all about and the part that I play. So yeah, that was pretty much, life after rewilding at that point.
Absolutely. So again, I'll ask both of you, what do you want a viewer to take away from this?
Yeah, I guess I'd like to see. I like to have them to see the authenticity of humanity and the connection that is possible to create through a certain environment. And if people come to each other from a good space, that things are possible, and that vulnerability is bravery, that things that we've been learned in the past are not necessarily the right way, that we can do things differently, we can change it with an open mind and open heart. And then, I just like, all we need is just a safe space to act out and, live a life in a place that we all want. It is possible. And no matter where you're from, I'm from Czech, Anthony's from New York, Jesse, Colorado, coming from New York too, but totally different backgrounds. But things are possible in many, many ways if you have a will and good intentions and good heart, which we all do.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with what he's saying, but for me, to say that, yeah, we have to be able to share space, because I mean that's what we do, planet Earth, right? Not just the states and the country, but we share this planet, and we have to learn how to coexist. I'm saying it very simply, but coexist. But when we do that and we do it genuinely, and we come up with great ideas, then things like rewilding in these programs will grow from that, right? And then we can all benefit from it and share. So it's extremely important, but it has to come from a place, like you said, from authenticity, being genuine and really wanting it, and I think that's what it is. Sometimes, some people put themselves in a position that they don't necessarily want to be in, but because it's the right thing to do. But it's like, but if it's not coming from an authentic place, then, find your place to do it, because we all have a part to play in this growth process, with each other.
Yeah. And so, Anthony, you said there was a bit of a learning curve when you got back. How are you doing now? Are you doing okay? I mean, it's a process, but how are you?
Yeah. I'm doing great. I'm past not communicating with the guys, right, about how I feel about everything, right? Because that was huge. It was very hard for me. And so now where I'm at is like being in front of a bunch of people watching me and knowing that they seen this film and knowing that they seen a side of me that I'm like, oh my God, like that. It's usually only a one-on-one or personal thing I would share. So, I'm in that space now, but versus going into like a hermit mode and hiding, I embrace it more. And, I try to see how it affects other people and let that lead the discussion, more than me, because I know people are going to come to me, yes, about, okay, I seen this happen for you, but it resonated with you though. So, it's more about, okay, how did it help you, and that will be the discussion that I would love that spawns from each individual.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I am told I'm out of time. I feel like we barely talked, but it was so nice talking to both of you. Congratulations. The doc is wonderful, and I will wish both of you the best of luck.